Falcon Radio. My name is Gavin Gale, sitting in with Dawson Pelter for your coverage of women's basketball taking on the UMass Minute Women. A bit of a scheduling change because of inclement weather. Last minute change. We are on Falcon Radio, not on WBGU 88.1. But Dawson, how are we feeling about today's matchup against the Minute Women?
Feeling good. Obviously, as you mentioned, a little bit of a change. Also a change with the weather for this game with the date and time. Originally scheduled for Sunday, obviously now playing today, Saturday, with an 11 a.m. tip-off. And it is quite cold over there, walking over to the Colleen, but I'm excited for this one.
Absolutely. I mean, the Minute Women are coming. They are currently 5-2 in the MAC and and then 5-2 in the MAC, and then overall they are 13-4. Where Bowling Green is 3-4 in the MAC and 10-8 overall. So it should be a close matchup. I mean, Bowling Green is coming off of a loss against Ohio University at the Stroh. That game went 57-82 in Ohio's favor. And then the game before that, they're coming off of this one was a closer loss against Miami of Ohio, 49-51, where Miami took the win there. Both of those being at the Stroh Center, so maybe they have some away magic. They are not at the Stroh. They are in Massachusetts, Amherst, Massachusetts, with Lucas Kleinmeyer is in stadium and will be your color and play-by-play commentator. So make sure to stay tuned in for that. You are listening to Falcon Radio for coverage of the Bowling Green Falcons taking on the UMass Minute Women.
Hi, I'm Peyton O'Malley with women's soccer here at BG, and my Falcon 4 pregame rituals is going to Trop, praying, singing songs in the locker room, and our mental prep on the field.
BGSU hockey travels to Minnesota to take on the Bemidji State University Beavers on Saturday, January 24th at 7:07 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have the call, and Holden Ruck and Nathan Burkett will have pregame and postgame shows starting at 6:45 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM. Your home for Falcon hockey.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Gavin Gill in here and Falcon Radio with Dawson Pelter to my left. Dawson, Paige Kohler coming off of the last game was probably the only highlight of that game, I would say. She broke her 1,000 career points. Very, very high. I feel like that's very high accomplishment to have, being just a junior right now, breaking that 1,000 career points. I know she didn't perform the way she wanted to in the rest of the game, but that she got it within like 10 seconds of the last game.
Yeah.
And then continued to I think she ended the game with 8 points against Ohio. So not really. There wasn't really, like I said, there wasn't a lot of highlights in that Ohio game, but Paige Kohler getting her 1,000 points, pretty big for her.
No, yeah, absolutely. You mentioned she's just a junior, and she got that 1,000 points in just 80 games for Bowling Green. So obviously a great accomplishment. She becomes the 33rd player ever in program history to reach that milestone, tied with the 7th fastest in program history. So that game versus the Bobcats wasn't a great one, obviously. A lot of letdown for the Falcons, but that was a great highlight. She did it in just 24 seconds of the game. Yeah. I was doing video for that game. It was crazy. Bangs a three pretty much straight away. So she did record 8 points, and she had a team high 4 assists. So great thing for Paige there.
And she led the team in minutes that game with 36. So I mean, they won her on the court. I mean, obviously she's one of the best scorers on the team, so you want to get your hot hands fed. I don't think that's how the saying goes, but we'll run with it. Yeah. Your team leaders last game against the Bobcats were Lauren Gherkin with 10 points and Miller with 10 points as well. So maybe trying to get them a little or more or keep them involved, but also you couldn't have beat that Ohio Bobcats team with your leading point score being only 10. The Bobcats they played that game very first half dominant, scoring 23 points to Bowling Green 16 in the first quarter, 23 points to Bowling Green 7 in the second quarter, and you're digging yourself out of a hole with a sand shovel that you use on the beach. So, and then, I mean, the Bowling Green Falcons, they started getting back into it, but once you're so far down, you can't get yourself out. What are you kind of expecting out of this Falcons team to not put themselves in a hole like they did against the Bobcats?
Yeah, absolutely. So you look initially, by halftime, they were already down 20, right? That's, you mentioned the hole that they had to dig out of. A 20-point halftime hole is extremely hard. So straight off the bat, you can't get down by 20 points. You look at the defensive struggles. They had really no answer for Ohio shooting. The Bobcats shot nearly 60% from three-point range and 58% from the field. You're shooting over 50% from both 2 and 3. That's extremely difficult. So they got to ramp up the defensive intensity. We saw them do pretty well, especially in the second half and even into the fourth quarter in their defense. Saw them pick up the intensity, which I think a part of that, Coach Shamel mentioned kind of the letdown lingering from Miami. So hopefully they can get over both of those 2 losses mentally to get into this one. And then also on the offensive side, they need, hopefully within the last couple of days of practice, they've found a way to get over the hump there, because the Falcons struggle to score as well, shooting just 33% from the floor and 27% from deep. So both offensively and defensively, they need to ramp it up on both sides. But I think one of the main keys, especially for this game, is the turnover battle. Last game, BGSU committed 22 plus turnovers and allowed Ohio to score 33 points off those mistakes. 30 points off of transition, off of turnover opportunities. You can't have that and expect to win a game. So hopefully they can clean up both sides of the ball, and well, I guess we'll just see what happens.
Absolutely. And then if you look on Bowling Green's side, Donahue is currently sitting on the top of the MAC in steals with 3.9 per game. So you really want her to try to find that fire, I feel like, again, and start getting after the ball and getting it into your scoring, to the hands of the scorers like a Paige Kohler or like a Gherkin. So that's definitely something we're going to be looking at here on Falcon Radio. You're listening to the pregame show of the Falcons taking on the Minute Women. Tip-off will be in about 15 minutes. In about 5 minutes, we're going to send it to Lucas Kleinmeyer in Massachusetts. Jeez. And we'll get his opinions of the game. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network and BG Falcon Media takes pictures for nearly all BGSU and Bowling Green related events throughout the year. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to check out thousands of photos and all the content.
BGSU men's basketball travels 30 minutes north to battle the arch-rival Toledo Rockets in the first leg of the Battle of I-75 at Savage Arena on Saturday, January 24th at 5 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network Tyler Cavaletz, Artie Abrego, and Foster Rossi will have the call of the game, while Nate Henners and Sam Bork will start the action with the pregame show at 4:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
The BGSU men's basketball team returns to the Stroh Center for a matchup against Buffalo on January 27th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Artie Abrego and Noah Seeley will be on the call, with Nate Henners and Sam Borg starting things off with the pregame show at 6:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
At the Stroh or on the road, the Falcon Media Sports Network is covering the Falcons all season.
Falcon Radio. I am Gavin Gill sitting in with, not Jill Dawson.
Yeah.
Gavin Gill sitting in with Dawson Pelter. We're going to do, before we send it to Lucas, in about 1 minute, just going over some things that are going on in Falcon athletics. Yesterday, the Falcons took on Bemidji State in Bemidji, Michigan, where they took the win at 3-1. And then today, you have a full pack schedule with women's basketball, men's basketball, hockey. Women's basketball obviously taking on the Minute Women in Massachusetts. Toledo, the men's basketball will be traveling to Savage Arena in Toledo. That will be tip-off at 5 p.m. Here on Falcon Radio. And Bemidji State, the second game of that series, that puck drop will be at 7:07 in Bemidji. That will be on WBGU 88.1. So it's a very heavy day, especially for this battle of I-75, I feel like. Make sure to tune in about 30 minutes prior to each broadcast for your pregame shows by other Falcon Media Sports Network analysts, as I send it out to Lucas Kleinmeyer in Massachusetts. How we doing out there, Lucas?
Well, we are here, Gavin. That's for sure. Thank you so much for taking over. I am joined by the Director of Operations, Ethan Gelfand, for the, I think, second straight away broadcast, at least the one that I've been a part of. So, Ethan, thank you as always for joining us. And I think at first, can you take us through your job of how you changed the flights with the winter storm coming, the last-ditch times, and all that stuff?
I had a feeling you might be asking me about this, since we were supposed to actually fly out today, and now we're playing a game at the exact time we were supposed to fly out. So, no, I mean, it was a great call by the conference and the coaches overall just to move this game with the storm. It makes my job interesting, so that's kind of when I go into full effect. And so I was on the phone basically all day Thursday, but waiting for hypotheticals because we didn't get the official call from the conference until later in the afternoon. So, it's just a lot of making plans A, B, C, all the way down to G. But, I have a great support staff around me and just talking with Coach Fred a lot, just staying in constant contact with him. But, yeah, it was a little busy for me on Thursday. But we're here, and hopefully we can get home tonight and can look in the rearview mirror, hopefully with the win as well, and be on our way back to Ohio.
For sure. Well, we're in UMass.
Yes.
Third ever meeting between these two programs.
Yes.
The first time in a long time. And you're a Massachusetts native. You're
I'm
from this
a
area.
Bostonian.
Yeah, how's it feel to kind of be back in this area?
Well, it's funny because everyone says, you're going to play UMass, you're going to see your friends and all that. I'm like, okay, no one really understands that UMass is in the far western part of the state, so 2 hours from Boston. But it's fun, I'm a big Patriots guy. Go Pats tomorrow in the championship game. So it's nice to kind of see the Celtics banners and the Patriots stuff. So it's good to be back in the area, but be ready to get back to Northwest Ohio.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the last two games haven't been great.
Sure.
Back-to-back home losses to Miami and Ohio. I know Coach wasn't really particularly happy after that Ohio game post-game. So for you, what do you like to see here? Obviously, this is a very good UMass team, 13-4. But what are just kind of those things that you would like to see the team do just to get some confidence back as well?
It's just getting back to playing our brand of basketball. It's a brutal stretch. Miami, Ohio, and UMass are all in the top 3, top 4 of the standings. So it's tough. This conference is, as we talked about last time, it's good top to bottom, and especially those at the top, and you got to play your best. We had the Miami one. We let it slip away, unfortunately. Ohio was hot, and we didn't get to play our style. So I think it's important for us to kind of set our tone early, stick to what we're good at, and really kind of control it that way. I think that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing is of how we can respond and show that, it's all right. We've weathered a couple punches. Now it's our time to throw a couple back.
For sure. And I would be remiss to not mention Paige. We were supposed to talk in the paint this week. Obviously, got to change with the storm and everything.
Yeah, you had a few changes too. So thank you for being nimble and ready to change.
For sure. But Paige passed 1,000 career collegiate points
awesome.
on Wednesday. She hit the first shot of the game. Can you guys just talk about what she means as a captain, a leader of this team? Kind of just all the above and what she means and what she's going to mean in the future as well. She's got one more year left.
Paige is a great kid. This is her third year here on the team, and she's really taken huge strides. And it's great to see her take over that leadership spot. Obviously, last year was very senior-laden with Erica and Amy and Lexi, and they were great leaders as they were. And Paige didn't necessarily have to be in that role. She was a leader on the court, but not necessarily as vocal. This year, she's really stepped into that leadership position, and it's been the girls are really ready and willing to follow her because clearly she knows what she's doing. Tied for the seventh fastest person in BG history to get to 1,000 points. You don't do that by accident. She puts in the work, she puts in the time, and it's great to see her succeed. So if we want some success tonight, or this morning, excuse me, my goodness, it's 11 a.m., people.
I know.
If we want some success this morning, it's going to start with Paige, whether it's just getting people open, hitting a couple shots down herself, but it starts with her.
For sure. All right, last question.
Yes, sir.
Open up to the floor. Anything else you want to say about the matchup? Anything else you want to say about the team? Anything else you want to say about the travel on the way back? Because hopefully we come back unscathed, knock on wood. But open in the floor before we head off.
We're excited for this matchup. It's fun, UMass being new to the conference to really see how we match up with them. They were in a great conference last year in the A10 to see that kind of different brand of basketball. So it's exciting. It's exciting to have these new schools and to give the girls new opportunities to see new places. So hopefully we just come away playing well. That's the biggest thing. If we can play our game and control what we can control, I think we'll be happy with the result and hopefully come home happy.
Awesome. Well, Ethan, as always, thank you so much for joining us post-game. We'll throw it back in the studio where Gavin and Dawson are. So we're just about 8 minutes away from tip-off, sir, and hope for a win. And honestly, hopefully, safe travels
for a win,
back.
hope for safe travels home, all the above. All the above. Let's just get it all done.
Appreciate it, sir. Thank you so much for everything you do for us.
No, thank you, guys.
Interested in joining Falcon Media Sports Network? If you're looking to get involved, send an email to sports@bgfalconmedia.com.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Radio for coverage of the Falcons taking on the Minutewomen in Massachusetts. Thank you to Ethan for his for that interview, and you got a little bit of a taste of what Lucas, your color and play-by-play commentator. Once again, tip-off will be at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure to stay tuned in and listen to that game. It's going to be a good one against the Minutewomen, but the Falcons and the Minutewomen are not the only MAC teams playing today. You got Miami of Ohio taking on Ball State, also at 11 a.m. Whoa, 11 a.m. NIU is taking on Eastern Michigan at 1 p.m. Toledo is taking on Ohio Bobcats at 1 p.m. as well. Kent State and Buffalo will take action at 2 p.m. and Central Michigan and Western Michigan will tip off at 3:30. So we'll probably be done by the time that game gets tipped off. But there's a decent amount of MAC games going on today. Dawson, are you looking at these games?
I am, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure all of the games from Sunday got moved to today.
Yes.
So very thankful for the conference to move that so we can avoid the storm that's going to be coming across the Midwest and on the eastern border of the United States. So shout out to the MAC conference for making that happen. But any games that you're kind of keeping an eye on that you're kind of, maybe scratching your head about?
Yeah, you look at the schedule. You've got there's not another game until next Wednesday. So as you mentioned, great job by the MAC getting all that moved. But I think obviously the big one is Miami and Ball State.
Yeah.
Two of those big conference schools, both 7-0 in the conference. They're actually both 15-4 as well. So whichever one wins in this one at 11, that one is in Muncie, Indiana. Whichever one wins that will be the leader of the MAC for now. Yeah, Ball State. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and also I was on the pregame, halftime, and postgame show for the last game against the Bobcats, and we talked about, you have 11 more games in the season. You have 10 more MAC games. You have one non-MAC game, which is that Coastal Carolina, which is the MAC Sunbelt Challenge. You're getting to that back half of the season. Only 8 people can make it into the MAC tournament. Not saying that Bowling Green's on the edge of it, but they are certain. They're 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 7. So okay, never mind. They are on the edge of possibly not making the tournament, which is kind of crazy because you look at that Toledo team. They're 8-8 overall, and Bowling Green is 10-8. So with 2 wins on top of Bowling Green, but Toledo is able to jump them because they're only 3-3 in conference, where Bowling Green is 3-4. So you're getting to that back half of the season. These are kind of where the games, I wouldn't say necessarily matter more, but you want to be fighting for your spots. And me and Noah Seeley and I talked about it on WBGU last Wednesday that you want to be in that middle tier. You don't want to be at the end. You don't want to be at the top. Well, if you're at the top, that's awesome. But but that middle tier, just be fighting for spots. So you're fighting with a UMass, a Central Michigan, a Toledo, and Kent State is sitting there at that 8 spot. Now, what do you kind of thinking about that Central Michigan versus Western Michigan game? Could that be like an upset alert, or you think that Central's just going to kind of walk away with them?
I don't know. It very well could be. I'm personally liking Central Michigan there. Western Michigan has lost the last 4 games in a row. Western Michigan won their last 2. I'm liking Central, but in this MAC conference, you really do never know. So.
Absolutely. And then if you look ahead in the in Bowling Green's couple next games, you have at the Stro against Akron, who Akron's kind of at the bottom 2 of the MAC right now. You're at Toledo, Savage Arena, January 31st. That should be pretty good. Depending on the men's game today, we'll see how feisty these Toledo students are. And then you're at the MAC Center in Kent. And Kent is also right behind you in the MAC standings. So you're sitting in a spot where like Toledo's 1 ahead of you, Kent is right behind you. You have to start your winning streak now. I feel like you can probably drop 1, maybe 2 more games, but after that you are almost knocked out of the tournament. So this is kind of where you grit your teeth. And you just find ways to win. You're relying on maybe your shooter, Paige Kohler. Maybe you rely on Gherkin for your my apologies, Donahue for your steals. And just kind of you have to find ways to win right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned that the good part about the Falcons schedule is that we kind of mentioned it in the pregame as well as in that interview, is that these last couple MAC games have been those better opponents. So they've still got Buffalo, they've still got Akron, they've still got NIU coming up. So they've got some chances to win, and it'll be exciting to see what happens.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, absolutely. We are just 2 minutes away from tip-off, where we'll send it out to Lucas Kleinmeyer out there in Amherst, Massachusetts. You're listening to Falcon Radio. Thank you. I am Gavin Gill, and Dawson Pelter. Yeah, we'll be back here at halftime. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
Bowling Green women's basketball hosts Akron at the Stroh Center on Wednesday, January 28th at 7 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Trey Kennedy and Carter Leonard will have the call on WBGU 88.1 FM, with Sam Borick and PJ Aubrey hosting the pregame, halftime, and postgame show for the matchup starting at 6:35 p.m.
Join the Zig Zone Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Radio. I am Gavin Gill. We are just a minute out from tip-off, but let's send it out to Lucas out there in Massachusetts. Lucas, how we doing?
Thanks, Gavin. Thanks, Dawson. We are moments away from tip-off between the UMass Minutewomen and the Bowling Green Falcons. Well, we set the stage up a little bit. We talked about pregame a bit. Last 2 games have not been good for Bowling Green. You lose to Miami and Ohio at home, losing 3 straight home games now. You go back on the road, and now you face a really good UMass team. 13-4 on the year. UMass 7-0 right here at the Mullins Center, unbeaten, coming off a loss against Ball State, who are on top of the conference, after a 3 straight win streak in Central Michigan, Akron, and Buffalo. So for the Minutewomen, in a way, they're obviously favored heading to this matchup. But if you're Bowling Green, you don't want to put the label of a must-win on this game, but it's as close as a must-win as you possibly can get. You can't afford to lose 3 straight. You would fall to 10-9 and 3-5 in MAC play before you come back home on Wednesday and face Akron. Starting 5s were announced. These are Gavin and Dawson went over them. We'll go over them one more time. Kaya Woods, who returned from sickness, Jonea Donahue, Paige Kohler, Tia Ellis, and Lauren Gherkin will round out the starting 5 for head coach Fred Shamil. And for the UMass Minutewomen, Lily Ferguson, Yamani McHale, Ali Palmieri, Ayana Franks, Megan Olbries, We'll round out the starting 5 for the UMass. First year in the MAC, former A-10 school, and they've made quite the ruckus early in this one. This game was moved 3 different times. It was originally a Saturday afternoon game. It was selected as a national TV game for tomorrow at 4 p.m. on CBS Sports Network, including your local radio streaming like we are right now. Well, due to the severe weather that is hitting the Midwest, Northeast, and most of the country, they decided to move it to Saturday at 11 a.m., which caused, you heard Director of Ops Ethan Gelfand talking about pregame, caused a whole bunch of changes in flight schedule and things of that nature, and we're here. And it took a while. Man, not been much sleep, and the players won't care, the coaching staff won't care, I certainly don't care. It's going to be a good one here at the Mullen Center here in Amherst, Massachusetts. Bowling Green in their orange from head to toe. They'll go from right to left to start on your radio dial. UMass will be wearing their home white, and we're going from left to right. At center circle, you have Taya Ellis and Ayana Franks. Ball in the air, tipped one by Franks, and here come the Minute Women to start this one. Here's McHale. Looking on Woods, goes left, now center, top of the key, Ferguson. Right wing, Franks. Palmieri. Mid-range jumper, got it. And Palmieri knocks down for the first basket of the contest. 2-0 UMass. Here's Kohler starting the offense for the Bowling Green near the right wing. Top of the key now to Kohler. Here's Donahue. Kohler going to Woods. Here's Woods. Trying to pass. That one's tipped in the air and stolen. Franks put her hands up to steal it away. Now Franks on the fast break. Franks puts it up. Get that one to go. Gets her own rebound. Second by the Apple. Jump ball possession arrow will favor Bowling Green and Taya Ellis. Here's Woods setting the offense up here for Bowling Green. Minute played here in UMass in the first quarter. 2-0 Minute Women. Here's Kohler to the left wing. Looking for an option. Still Kohler. Chucks it outside left wing here for Woods. Woods, 3 on the shot clock. Gets to the Donahue. Donahue drives. Puts one up. A little bit too strong there. Loose ball on the ground. This rebound's held in here from Obrees. Here's McHale. Shooter open 3 there in the corner. That was Palmieri, no good. Big rebound again from Franks. And she put up and over Gherkin. Well, that was one of the keys to the game. That Bowling Green wanted to watch out for was the offensive rebounding. And so far, it's 3-0 in favor of the Minute Women. 4-0 UMass. 8-10 here in the first quarter. Here's Woods, Kohler, Donahue. Here's Kohler left wing. Kohler, tough mid-range shot there from Kohler. Got that one to rattle in. First points of the contest belongs to Kohler, the new 1,000-point score for Bowling Green. 4-2 UMass. Step back 3, Palmieri drains it. Former Seton Hall and Boston College transfer. She's made her way all across New England. It's 6-2 UMass. Here's Donahue. Here's Ellis. High-arcing attempt there from Ellis, but got to go off the glass and in. Here's McHale. Obris. Palmieri. Again, moved inside, got by Donahue, put the shot up, it rattled around, and then fell. Lead now 8-4 UMass. Ellis strong take, got it up and in. Here comes UMass again. Long pass, here's Franks. Donahue getting tangled up with her. Franks under the basket. Whistle blows, it'll be a favor, and a Bowling Green stop. Well, good offensive start to the game for both these teams. Here's Woods looking for an option. Here's Donahue. Up and over to Ellis. Ellis, and she traveled. She found the feed inside the post to Ellis. Took a couple passes, but then just moved her feet. Here's McHale. Franks. Breeze. Ellis swats it away. Franks gets it right back. Breeze spins on Ellis. Breeze spins and finishes. Here's Woods. Woods drives, kicks it out. Gherkin, deep three on the way. No good. They'll get an offensive foul. They'll get Kaya Woods. Now wait for Janiyah Bland Fitzpatrick to check back in this game. We got the first start since the first game of the season. And that game against Ohio, Kendall Moxie is also checked in for Taya Ellis. Here's McHale. Here's Franks. Breeze. McHale. And Donahue gets the steal. Donahue, nice full court pass to Bland Fitzpatrick. Her shot just a little bit short. Gherkin gets the rebound, spin around shot there off glass and in. Turning defense to the offense there from Bowling Green. Good stop there from Donahue. 10-8, UMass up by 2. We were almost midway through this first quarter already. Ferguson got by Gherkin. High arcing attempt, got to go. They want a travel called, not given. Now here's Kohler. Back that way. Donahue towards the left wing. Moxie feet inside. Gherkin putting it up and in. Here's McHale. Breeze. Franks. McHale. And timeout will be taken. And we've already... Well, we'll see if this takes us to our immediate timeout. They're calling a foul on Bland Fitzpatrick, and indeed it will. It's her first. We've reached our immediate timeout here. Fastest start to this first quarter, 12-10. UMass. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brew Company, located 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, serving coffee, craft beer, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. See the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll take a quick step aside. You'll listen to BGSU Women's Basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
The BGSU volleyball team and head coach Alex Del Piombo have picked up 2 new players from the transfer portal this winter. Molly Beatty comes to BGSU from Central Michigan. Entering her sophomore season, the Indianapolis native played only 16 sets in MAC play for the Chippewas last season, but played well in her first half. Carly Molnow is transferring from Loyola Chicago, where she had 256 kills and was nominated to the Atlantic 10 All-Rookie team. Going into the second season under Coach Del Piombo, the Falcons hope these new transfers will help lighten the blow of losing 3 seniors after last year's 17-15 finish. This has been 60 Seconds and Falcon Athletics.
After this game wraps up, more coverage continues online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Back to the Mullen Center after our first media timeout. 4:47 left to play here in the first quarter. 12-10. UMass been a good start offensively for both these teams. 5 for 7 shooting for Bowling Green. 6 for 8 for the Minutewomen. Here's Perkins, right wing. Out to McHale. Bland Fitzpatrick guards. 6 on the shot clock. Odenabo gets it out. 2 swat away from Bland Fitzpatrick, and the shot clock will expire. Great defense there for Bowling Green, and great swipe of the ball at the last second there from Janiyah Bland Fitzpatrick. Here's Kohler. Kohler. Here's Donahue, Bland Fitzpatrick. Gherkin deep three, and she drains it from way downtown. Back and forth, and Lauren Gherkin gives Bowling Green the lead for the first time this morning. 13-12. Paul Murray now three of her own, and just like that, they take the lead right back. 15-13 UMass. Full court press being provided again from UMass. Here's Bland Fitzpatrick, stolen away and knocked away. This time from Perkins. Long outlet pass. Going up strong is McHale. Rejected at the rim there from Gherkin. Bland Fitzpatrick. Full court pass. Here's Donahue. Donahue drives. Puts it up. Off glass and in. Hey, Donahue, we're tied at 15 apiece. Back and forth action we go. Here's McHale, right wing. Guarded here from Bland Fitzpatrick. Donahue guarding Perkins. They both drive to the rim. That one no good. Bland Fitzpatrick, low swipe at the rim. Couldn't get it. Was just a second too late. And that's Ogendimbo, her first points of the contest. Here's Donahue. Gherkin. Gherkin's three just off the mark. No another rebound there for BG. Donahue trying to put a hand there. McHale, she's going to get called here for the foul. Kiera Miller will now check in for the first time for Bowling Green. Paige Kohler will get a breather. Kendall Moxie will also check in as well. Outlet pass stolen away from Donahue. Donahue on the fast break here. No one around her. Up and in. Easy layup. Getting points off turnovers. Something that Bowling Green was emphasizing on after that loss against Ohio. Just trying to get more turnovers and capitalize off them. Jogan Digbo hands out to Perkins. And he can do so. We'll get Moxie for a foul underneath the basket. That'll be her first. We were tied at 17 apiece with 2:16 left here in the first quarter here on Falcon Radio. Inbound Paul McHale. Paul Murray catch and shoot three. Oh, just a bit off the mark. Rebounding here from Gherkin. Here's Woods to set the offense. Donahue. Donahue drives, looking for the rim there. Got the shot off. She drew the foul. Ogendengbo was first to meet it. So Donahue goes to the free throw line. Our first free throw is coming up of the game for either team. Probably one of our worst offensive outings last game against Ohio. Donahue. Just 2 points. Had a lot of fouls, limited her time, but has already had a much better start to this one. That's 5 points now for her. 18-17, BG retakes the lead as the first free throw falls. Here comes Donahue's second attempt off front of the iron, no good. Second one, no good with ball on the ground. They had 4 players crashing to the ball. Jump ball arrow will favor UMass. And Emily Cecil will check in for the first time, checking in for Donahue. Be UMass to start. Here's McHale. Here's McHale dribbling left. Looking for a handoff. Franks. Franks drives. A little bit too strong. No good. Ogendembo. That one no good as well. Here's Woods. Cecil. Out to Miller. Ellis. Inside pass. Woods looking for Moxie. She was double teamed inside the post. It was swatted away from Olbreeze. And Olbreeze now gets it out to McHale on the fast break. McHale! Easy as you like it. A couple of floaters. And UMass takes the lead right back. Under a minute left here in the first quarter. Kyle Woods just chucking it up. Getting the ball right back to Ellis. And jump ball arrow will favor UMass. (19-18) now UMass, 56 seconds left, and then just a weird turnover there from Kyle Woods. Olbreeze and then McHale. Both teams shooting either 50% or above from the floor to start this one. Bowling Green 66%. Ball inside. Miller inside the post. Offensive foul there on Franks. Kira Miller stood her ground underneath the post. Oh, wow. And it's so there was a miss up there with the PA announcer. And I thought she was shooting too. It's actually an offensive foul. So stand corrected. Miller went inbound the Woods. 45 seconds left and counting. Cecil. Here's Miller. Miller again inside the post. Moxie bounce pass inside. Ellis off glass and in. Strong finish there from Taya Ellis. 2019. BG back in front. Here's McHale. Ferguson. Perkins. Drives. McHale. Deep to McHale as the clock's expiring. Over contact, got the go. Down to 7 seconds. 21-20 UMass. Woods. Woods drives. 3 left the shot clock. Cecil. Woods. That's a D3 for Kyle Woods. Bit too strong. And that's how this first quarter will come to a close. Back and forth action ends in on the offensive end. 21-20. UMass on top by 1. We'll take a quick break here. And we'll preview the second quarter of action coming up here. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
Hey everybody, this is Kevin Hutchinson, host of The Swoop.
And this is Brooke Blake, executive producer for The Swoop. The Swoop is BG24's sports talk show about all things BGSU athletics.
New episodes come out every Thursday at 6 p.m. at bgfalconmedia.com.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best thing you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
After a 12-0 start to the season, the best start in over 50 years, the BGSU Falcons swim and dive team saw their first loss of the season on Friday, January 16th against the Ohio Bobcats. For the Falcons, Natalia Mayorga led the team in diving, Caroline Toledo got second in the 1,000-yard freestyle, and Grace Bodrock got second in the 200 butterfly. However, such great performances were not enough from the Falcons to overpower the Bobcats, losing 56-244. That was a rough one for us, but OU is a top program in the MAC, head coach Tanner Barton said. The Bobcats finished third in the MAC championship last year. In their next match, a duel versus Marshall and Duquesne, the Falcons saw 2 more losses, dropping 101.5 to 139.5 to Duquesne and 105 to 136 to Marshall. This has been 60 Seconds in Falcon Athletics.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Back here at the Mullins Center here in Amherst, Massachusetts, it's a 1-point lead for the Minutewomen. 21-20 Massachusetts over your Bowling Green Falcons. I'm Lucas Clamar on the call here. He made the trip in the last second change to this game after it changed 3 different times, and the last one due to the weather that's about to hit the Midwest Ohio and Northeast region. Here's Miller. Out to Cecil. Cecil to Miller. Here's Kyle Woods. Woods bounce pass inside to Moxie. Moxie. Long floater. Miller. Deep 3. That one no good. Rebounded. They're strong from Moxie. Getting tied up there with Palmieri. And jump ball will favor UMass. So just couldn't hold that one in. Palmieri had 9 points in that first quarter. Kohler and Gherkin have also checked back in this game as Moxie checks out, and so did Cecil. That's inside Ferguson. O'Briss stolen away and picked off there from Kai Woods. O'Briss wasn't ready for the pass. Now Kai Woods back to the way on the fast break. Gherkin. Woods. Bowling Green just 1 for 4 from 3. They thought about it here, and then said they go inside to Ellis. Fadeaway shot there, got it to go through all the contact. Big basket there from Taya Ellis. She's got a now team high 8 points. 22-21. Now BG takes the lead. A bunch of lead changes about to come up here. Ferguson getting around Gherkin. Easy basket there. 23-22. Kohler. The Woods. Here's Ellis. Ellis back to Woods. Only just got it out of that high press there from UMass. Here's Donahue. Long switch to left wing for Kohler. Kohler inside. Ellis. Donahue. Donahue drives. Trying to pass it out. Stolen away. Broken up. And taken away here for Perkins. McHale. Oh, easy transition basket. Wide open lane to the basket. 25-22. And then Woman in the lead. Here's Woods. Woods drives. Mid-range jumper. Off to the right. Ellis jockeying for the rebound. They'll say it's UMass ball. Ferguson within the facility. As Woods comes out and Miller comes back in. UMass is led by head coach Mike Leffler. First year in the MAC. 13-4 record so far. 15-2. 34 overall, 5-2 in the MAC. Donahue out to Miller for a deep 3. That's off for an iron, no good. No one in the area of the rebound. They picked up here from Perkins. Here's Kohler. Palmieri. Palmieri hands off Ferguson. O'Briss in the right corner. McHale. 3 on the shot clock now. McHale. 2 left. McHale off just in time. Just a bit short. Rebound there from Ellis. Now Miller goes quick. Gets him out of trouble. Donahue. Here's Donahue. Donahue trying to give it away and just does give it away right to Perkins. Perkins trying to give it back. It's stolen right back from Kohler. So both teams. Kind of an uncharacteristic turnover there at the start. Kohler hands off to Donahue here on the right. There's Kohler into Gherkin. Into the corner for a 3. That one off the mark. Rebounding here from McHale. That's a third shot now for Bowling Green. The last 3 offensive possessions where they've had a look and nobody's in the area of the rebound. O'Briss. O'Briss on Ellis. McHale. The freshman guard, Kira Miller guarding her. McHale moves inside. Mid-range jumper off front iron. No good. That's a big defensive rebound there from Taya Ellis. Kira Miller. Donahue spins out of danger. Donahue drives to the basket, putting it up a little bit too strong. Right to the hands of Ellis. And Ellis has got double figures. 10 points now for Taya Ellis. 25-24. UMass up by 1. Here's McHale. McHale feeding it. Was knocked away from behind there from Miller into the hands of Donahue. Donahue drives. Miller catch and shoot 3, and she's got it. Big 3 there from Kira Miller. Gives Bowling Green the lead with 5:28 left here in the second. Timeout has to be taken here from UMass. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brew Company. You can see this menu at juniperbrew.com. 27-25 BG's, 5:28 left here in the second. We'll take it with them. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
Hey BG Falcon fans, you're here with Paige Kohler on the women's basketball team. These are my Falcon 4 favorite things about basketball. First off, I love competing. I love being able to win, and I love the winning feeling. Second, I love that it's a team sport. I love being out there with 4 other people on the court. Third, all the traveling that we get to do. I've been to so many new places because of basketball. And lastly, I love making new friends and just playing the sport I love with my best friends.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
For the second straight year, Falcon Media Sports Network is partnering with WBGU PBS to broadcast Falcon men's and women's soccer matches. Tune into WBGU PBS YouTube's live streams to hear Lucas Kleinmeyer, Henry Costco, and other Falcon Media Sports Network talent on the call.
At the Stro or on the road, the Falcon Media Sports Network is covering the Falcons all season.
Back here at the Mullins Center, 27-25. BG up by 2 over the UMass Minute Women. Lucas Kleinmeyer here on the call here on Falcon Radio. I'll read you some stats here right before we get out of this timeout. Both teams still shooting above 50%. They're actually shooting the exact same, 54%, 12 for 22 from shooting. Well, UMass only attempted 2 3-pointers, or 1 for 2. Bowling Green's 2 for 7 as a 3-ball like it has really all season. Just hasn't fallen for them. The rebounding battle has been won for UMass. They've doubled it, 14-7. And they're one of the best rebounding teams in the entire Mid-American Conference, UMass. And that was one of the keys Fred Shamil had coming into this game. And it really started out rough. They bounced back a little bit, but there were a couple sequences there where they weren't even close. Back underway here with 5:22 left. Here's McHale. Here's Donahue on the takeaway. McHale just giving it right into the hands of Donahue. Donahue firing that one into Gherkin and lost it initially. Moxie got it right back. Now get off the top of the key to Miller. Here's Miller. Pounds pass into Donahue. Donahue into Gherkin. Here's Kira Miller. Miller, a long switch up pass out. Kohler for 3. Paige Kohler off front iron, no good. Not good. And Bowling Green came up short. Not sure that was a play. McHale develops it in. Offensive foul. As that was Jess Ross. Just coming in forward. Just ran right over Donahue. So a couple of sloppy back-to-back possessions of the basketball right there. 27-25. PG up by 2. Gherkin feeds this one inside Moxie. Moxie looks for an option. It's out to Donahue. 10 on the shot clock. Donahue bounces inside. Working on Oganimbo. That shot a little bit too strong. And I believe Donahue just got her second personal. It's actually just going to be a first. So just pick up a first personal foul. Despite Bowling Green up by 2, and having struggles on their own offensive end. They've held UMass scoreless here in the past 4 minutes and change. Here's George. George inside the Palmieri. Pass away, stolen away from Donahue. Guess who? Her 4th steal already this game. Donahue out to Miller. Miller drives to the left, puts it up on Palmieri. Block shot and out of bounds. Here's Donahue dribbling inside to the right corner. Kohler moves inside, mid-range jumper, just a bit too slow. And I think they want her to take the 3 that she had instead of just dribbling inside, taking the 2. Here's George. George feeds inside the post. That's Ross. Ross over the back of Kohler. Moxie came in late to help out. Tangling the bodies with Moxie Young and Dimbo. It's going to be jump ball possession favor for Bowling Green. Almost a scoring drought of 5 minutes for UMass. 2 minutes now for BG. Still 27-25, and we have about 3 minutes left before halftime. Down here inside Moxie. Moxie to Miller. Miller feeds it. Gherkin. Gherkin spins. Floater. Gherkin got it. Ends the scoreless drought there for Bowling Green. A 4-point lead now for the Falcons. 29-25. Mikhail drives. Got it to George. And they got the call. Confusion initially, and they'll get George there on an offensive foul. Another defensive stop, and again it was Kira Miller. Scoreless drought now nearly 6 minutes for UMass, as Ellis will come in for Moxie. 7-0 run over the last 3 minutes and change now for Bowling Green. Here's Gherkin. Kohler hands off Donahue, top of the key. And to Gherkin. Gherkin sets her feet. That's a 3. Off front iron, no good. Olbrich got the rebound again to McHale. McHale's so shifty and fast. Lays it off the last second to Ross. That's the drought over. It took him over 6 minutes. As just Ross, 29, 25, 27, pardon me. 2 minutes left. In a fast-paced and an action game. Kira Miller switches inside. Gherkin thought about it. Mid-range jumper. Off front iron, no good. Rebound here from Palmieri. Palmieri with some speed. Palmieri bounce past to Ross. Mikhail. Mikhail, that's a D2. No good. Rebound there over Ellis and got the Joe. That was Olbrich. Just stole it away from Ellis at the last second, and we are tied at 29 apiece. Minute 30 left here before halftime. Donahue. Ellis. Gherkin. That's a 3. Lauren Gherkin connects. Big 3 there. 32-29. And that's Gherkin's second 3 of the half. Here's McHale. Palmieri. Olbrich. Ellis swipes it away initially. McHale. He's inside. Olbrich put it up and in. Here's Donahue. Kohler. Out to the right wing, looking for Miller. And Miller just lost the ball. Out of bounds. And it'll be UMass possession, 32-31, with 47.5 seconds left. As Emily Cecil now will check in. Olbrich into McHale. She's going to be guarded here by Cecil. She crosses center court. Here's McHale. That's a D3. Palmieri off front iron, no good. Everyone looking for a rebound. Bodies crash on the floor. Nothing called. Here's Cecil. 2 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Here's Ellis. Donahue. Donahue will drive. Kicks it out to Cecil. Cecil, that shot no good. Nice pass in the hand of McHale. She'll take one as the buzzer expires, and she hits it. McHale at the buzzer to give UMass the lead over contact and over everybody, and it looked like that shot had no chance of going in, but it hits nothing but net, and UMass will have a 2-point lead heading into halftime, 34-32, and what has been a fast-paced offensive battle. We'll take a quick step aside. I'll turn it back over to Gavin Gill and Dawson Pelter, who are standing in the Falcon Radio studio. We'll recap and preview what's to come here in the third quarter here at the Mullen Center in Amherst, Massachusetts. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
Hi, I'm Peyton O'Malley with women's soccer here at BG, and my Falcon 4 pregame rituals is going to Trop, praying, singing songs in the locker room, and our mental prep on the field.
Are you a fan of BG Falcon Media and the Falcon Media Sports Network? You can show your support for BGSU student media by donating at the bottom of the page of stories on bgfalconmedia.com.
On February 11th, 2025, BGSU senior forward Marcus Johnson nailed an improbable corner three-pointer at the buzzer to give Bowling Green a lead over the Ohio Bobcats going into halftime. Falcon Media Sports Network's Tyler Kavlitz had the call on Falcon Radio.
Thomas looking for someone to inbound it to. Gets it to Johnson. Corner three, fading away to baseline. Marcus Johnson nails it. Bowling Green goes into half with a 2-point advantage, 34-32. On the miracle shot by Johnson.
This has been a Falcon Media Sports Network featured call.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Radio in studio with Gavin Gill and Dawson Pelter as we are at halftime of the Bowling Green Falcons taking on the UMass Minute Women. Current score is 34-32. Brought to you by that half-court buzzer beater three-pointer, and UMass take a 2-point lead. We watched that highlight back. It was from almost half court, which is kind of nuts. But the Minute Women, they're only 2 points ahead of the Falcons. So they're keeping it way closer than they did against Ohio. The Minute Women are also they're at the top of the conference. So what are your biggest takeaways from that first half?
Yeah. You look at this game, very back and forth game, right? You look at the field goal percentage initially, 47%, 55%. Nothing really jumps out to you right there. Big thing for the Falcons, they're winning in the steals department. 9 steals to 5 steals for UMass. That's kind of what we expected and what we really wanted for Bowling Green coming into the pregame, coming into this game. One thing that is surprising to see is the rebound battle. UMass winning 20-10 at the half in the rebound battle. It'll be interesting to see. You get a lot of second chance opportunities. 6 offensive rebounds for UMass in that first half, and then you also look at the free throws in that first half. In the first quarter specifically, not a lot was called. Only 2 free throws shot total. Both teams combined, UMass haven't shot any. So very interesting game. Very fast-paced game. Very back and forth game so far in this one.
Yeah, you were saying very. Defensive battle. Donahue is doing what she does. She currently is on top with 5 steals for the Falcons. Let me see what UMass is dealing with in the steals department. There's not really a leader besides their Palmeri. She has 2. So Donahue's kind of taking over in the steals department, very defensive battle, and that's kind of what we were saying at the pregame show. We want a defensive kind of get in their face, make sure we're getting turnovers, make sure the Falcons can get down to the other end of the court and just score. Your leading scorer currently right now is Gherkin and Ellis, Gherkin has 12, Ellis has 10. So you get the ball into their hands, and hopefully hopefully the Falcons can walk away with a win. We will be right back here on Falcon Radio, as this is your halftime report from Gavin Gill and Dawson Pelter on Falcon Radio.
Hi, I'm Lauren Hovey on the BGSU volleyball team, and these are my Falcon 4 off-day activities. My first one would be spend time with family and friends if they're in town, because I love them. My second one would be read my book, because it's relaxing. My third one would be go get coffee, because who doesn't love coffee? And my fourth one would be go get groceries so I can make food for the week.
Did you know Falcon Media Sports Network has video highlights of BGSU athletic events? To see all the moments from your favorite BGSU teams and athletes, head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel or view them on bgfalconmedia.com.
My name is Malcolm Johnson Jr., senior wide receiver, and my Falcon 4 favorite NFL teams are the Ravens, because it's in my hometown, the Texans, because Stephon Diggs, and he's from Maryland, the New York Giants, because, well, I love their colors, and the Commanders, because my favorite NFL player is Sean Taylor. Go Falcons.
Join the Zig Zone Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
Falcon Radio. I'm Gavin Gill. That's Dawson Pelter for your halftime report for the game against the Falcons versus the Minute Women. The other games that are happening around the MAC right now in women's basketball is just the Miami of Ohio versus Ball State. That was one of our key games that we wanted to keep an eye on. Currently, Miami of Ohio is up on Ball State 31-26. Other games happening today is NIU versus Eastern Michigan, Toledo against Ohio, Kent State against Buffalo, and then your closer for tonight in the women's basketball department is Central Michigan taking on Western Michigan. Dawson, we said that they're doing pretty well in the defensive kind of category of this game so far. What kind of offensive changes do you want to see coming out of this second half?
Yeah, I think one of the big things that we need to highlight is the three-point percentage. Shooting 30% right now, 3 of 10. Not bad, but also not great. You look at the individual stats, and 2 of those makes from 3-point are from Gherkin. So the other players kind of need to step up, or we've seen the Falcons struggle from 3-point land in the previous games, which, whenever you're struggling from outside, take it to the rim. Big shout out to Ellis, 5 of 5. She's got 10 points, but perfect shooting from the field so far. We saw the offensive struggles versus Ohio, right? They struggled shooting 33% from the floor, 27 from deep, picking it up, obviously, a lot, 47 so far in this one. They just need to keep doing what they're doing, get into a flow. I'm happy to see that they've kind of been on a slow start. Previously, they had the Ohio loss that they started out slow, and then Miami, both of those kind of affecting them. I'm glad to see that hasn't played too much of a part in this one so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and Ellis is coming off of the bench. She currently has 5 minutes and 28 seconds off the bench. So for her to come out and be second on the team in scoring really kind of shows you that you have some depth. I will say I kind of expected Kohler to kind of come out with a little bit more fire in her gut, especially coming off of a career 1,000 points last game. Maybe she wants a little redemption from the way that things ended last game, but she only has 2 points on the game. Looking to see her kind of step up a little bit more, I feel like. Donahue's playing, I feel like, how Donahue plays. She's got 5 steals on the day. She has 17 minutes in the game, along with Kohler and Gherkin. All three have 17. But maybe getting Donahue a little bit more in the paint, getting some offense or more offensive rebounds if they're missing, but it's not looking like they are. So definitely want to see a little bit more of a offensive overtake, especially being down 2, not too far behind. It's looking like that Miami game that happened last week, but we don't want to see them just fall into this pit where they're only shooting threes. We will be right back here on Falcon Radio.
Hi, I'm Jaden Frigerio on the women's soccer team, and I'm doing my Falcon 4 favorite places in BG. First would have to be Meyer, second would have to be Juniper, third would have to be the beach, and number 4 would be the fires behind the business building. Thanks.
Falcon Media Sports Network produces weekly short-form and long-form social media pieces for in-season sports all year long. Make sure to check out at BG_FMSN on Twitter/X and at BG Falcon Media on Instagram and Facebook to view the content.
After this game wraps up, more coverage continues online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Falcon Radio. For your coverage for women's basketball taking on the Minute Women of Massachusetts. Yes, we are here on Falcon Radio, not on WBGU, due to inclement weather happening across the United States, particularly in the Midwest and Eastern United States. Around Falcon Media Sports Network, we have a couple of different games happening today. We have the second game of the Bemidji State series in hockey, where Ben Korak is up in Bemidji State, or in Bemidji, Minnesota. So make sure to tune in to WBGU 88.1 for puck drop being at 7:07 tonight, with Holden Ruck, Nathan Burkett, and Artie Abrego will be your pregame show for that. So make sure to tune in about 30 minutes before the broadcast to catch up what the three of them have to say. Sooner game happening here on Falcon Radio. We have the Battle of I-75 men's basketball rivalry week. Tyler Kavlitz, Artie Abrego, and Foster Rosti will be traveling up to... Okay, that doesn't make sense. Why? How is Artie on? Anyway, Tyler Kaplitz, Artie Abrego, and Foster Rosti will be heading just about 30 minutes up north to Savage Arena. Tip-off will be at 5 p.m. here on Falcon Radio. So make sure to also tune in about 30 minutes before that for Nate and Sam for their pregame show. So around 4:30 today. Other games that are happening this weekend, we have next week. Men's basketball on Tuesday. They will be in the Stro taking on the Buffalo. That game will be called by Artie Abrego and Noah Seeley, with Nate and Sam also doing board op for that game. So men's basketball kind of, they got some games here coming up here soon, but the next game for women's basketball after this one will be Wednesday, January 28th at 7 p.m. Tune in around 30 minutes prior to the broadcast, and you will have a pregame show from Sam Bork and PJ Aubrey, and that broadcast will be by Trey Kennedy and Carter Leonard. So right before we send it out to Lucas, Dawson, I want to get your final take before we get into halftime. This is the last time you'll be able to speak before we hit the post-game show. So what do you want to see out of the Falcons as they are down 32-34?
Yeah, biggest thing is just their offensive continuity. Defense, they're getting it done. 9 steals. Happy to see getting 14 points off those turnovers. They struggled in the last game versus Ohio with actually scoring in transition off of those turnovers, getting it done today. I just want to see them do well offensively. They're 47%, which is much improved from last game. 30% from 3, which is about the same. They just need to keep doing what they know, their bread and butter offensively, and it should shake out well for them.
Absolutely, I agree with that. I feel like we've touched on this offensive gameplay a little bit. Maybe beating a dead horse here. But anyway, you're listening to Falcon Radio. I'm Gavin Gill. That's Dawson Pelter. We'll be sending it out to Lucas Kleinmeyer in Amherst, Massachusetts in a matter of moments. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Back here at the Mullins Center, 34-32 off the buzzer beater from McHale is the difference between the UMass Minutewomen and the Bowling Green Falcons. The Falcons looking to end this losing streak. UMass looking to get back to their winning ways of their own, but Bowling Green trying not to fall to 10-9 and 3-5 in MAC play. UMass is 5-2. Thanks, Gavin. Thanks, Dawson, for that halftime show. Very informative. You can mention that later at 5 o'clock, Battle of I-75 for men's basketball between Bowling Green and Toledo with Tyler Cavlitz, Artie Abrego, and Foster Rosti. Second half action is underway. UMass will now be going from right to left on your radio dial. We're in all white. Bowling Green will be going from left to right and all orange. McHale goes inside here to Old Breeze. Old Breeze outside here, Ferguson. Ferguson's deep three off front iron, no good. Ellis jockeying for the rebound, gets in the hands of Gherkin. Gherkin long and left pass. Here's Woods. Woods underneath the basket, one-on-one with McHale. Puts it up. An offensive foul going to be called on Kyle Woods. McHale stood her ground. But Woods couldn't finish there from the rim. It is still Woods, Ellis, Kohler, Gherkin, and Donahue. Brees, McHale, Ferguson, Palmieri, and Franks. Here's Franks. McHale to the right side. Ferguson. Palmieri drives. Couldn't do so. Trying to get to the rim there, was knocked out of bounds there from Lauren Gherkin. Inbound here with 4 on the shot clock for UMass. 55 seconds into this one. Same score, 34-32. Briss, open McHale. Ricochets in and out, rebound here from Ellis. Here's Woods. Moved inside Gherkin, long outlet pass to Kohler. Kohler just 2 points in that first half. And then Donahue. Donahue looks for an option. Still looking. Gets it out to Kyle Woods. Here's Woods, drives. Woods puts it up, a little bit too strong, no good. And the shot clock will expire. Bowling Green a second straight empty possession here to start the second half. It's 8:30 left. Both teams still looking for that first basket. McHale. 9 points. McHale, open three for her. Got it. Nice pass, receive over to the left wing, and she hits nothing but net. (37-32) UMass, 8:05 left. Donahue was in some trouble. Got the pass off just the last second. Here's Woods looking for an option. Brees will be called for the foul. Was tangled up there with Moxie underneath. Didn't even let her move. So now Woods was going to inbound it, well, right in front of me, the traveling radio guy. And now he's going to inbound it underneath the basket. Woods, and Donahue. Donahue back to Woods. Woods to Kohler. Kohler out to Gherkin. Gherkin, long pass, Donahue. Donahue spins, puts it up, floater, a little bit too strong, no good. Here's Franks. Palmieri, open three, top of the key. Oh, Brees! Front iron, no good. Held in there from Gherkin. Here's Woods. Kohler, that's a three. Kohler off front iron. Moxie jockeying for the rebound. And in the hands of Ferguson. Bowling Green scoreless here for 2 minutes and 30 seconds here in this third quarter. 7:18 left here in the third. 37-32 UMass. Just 1 3 made so far. It was from UMass. Here's McHale. McHale. A little bit too short off to the left. Into the hands of Woods. Now Woods looking to go fast. Woods, Donahue. Gherkin. Kohler. Drives inside. Kohler taking the contact. Couldn't get the shot to go. And no whistle was called. Long pass. Palmieri. Palmieri switch. Franks. McHale. Okay, Gherkin. Just got blown right by Palmieri. And then Donahue and Palmieri jockeying for the rebound on that shot. And Palmieri is now down on the floor and holding her head after getting that rebound. And while the athletic staff attends to Palmieri, we'll take a quick step aside here, listen to BGSU Women's Basketball on Falcon Radio. We'll actually stay right here as Palmieri is up to her feet, and we'll walk off and is helped from the trainers. It'll be BG ball out of this with 30 seconds on the shot clock as it resetted. Bland Fitzpatrick has checked in now for Kohler. So you have Gherkin, Woods, Bland Fitzpatrick, Donahue, and Ellis. Gherkin, Donahue, Bland Fitzpatrick. Here's Bland Fitzpatrick out to Donahue. Now Gherkin on top of the key. Still Gherkin, Donahue. It's man-to-man defense right now here for UMass. Donahue drives to the right. Looking for an option, spins out Bland Fitzpatrick to Woods. Woods in the Gherkin. Gherkin's going to try it. Bland Fitzpatrick. She'll drive. In the Woods. Kicks it outside. Donahue. Donahue. Shot clock expired. No one on the bench counted. We're down to 3. And an applause for the crowd. And Kira Miller will come in for Woods. 37-32. And the over-dribbling and taking the shot clock down for Bowling Green. The problems continue. They're still looking for the first point of this half. Another steal there from Donahue. Outlet pass here to Bland Fitzpatrick. This could be the moment. Shoulder to shoulder there with Bland Fitzpatrick and Ferguson. They're going to get Ferguson for the foul. That's going to be her first personal. As Kohler will come in now for Donahue. Say she fouled her before the shot. So we'll just inbound. And jump ball will favor UMass's Kohler inbound to Gherkin. And just a simple lapse of judgment. The ball just was inbound and then nothing came up of it. And another turnover. A third steal though from Franks. Oh, Brees. Kohler fell on the ground. Bland Fitzpatrick. Here's Franks. Here's Perkins. Franks. Oh, Brees. Trying to feed inside. Ellis was there to intercept it. Couldn't grab it. Just knocked it out of bounds. Wave it off. They're going to say Mikhail traveled before inbounding the ball. So now it'll be BG ball. Gherkin and Kohler. Another high press being provided here for UMass. Gherkin feeds in inside Ellis. There's Gherkin. There's Kohler. Right wing now here to Miller. Now top of the key. Gherkin now switches to the left side. Lan Fitzpatrick. She drives all the way now. Works with the right. No look pass. Ellis got to go. Well, if you're going to get your first basket at half, that's the way to do it. No look pass there. 37-34. Taya Ellis now tied with Gherkin with a game high 12. And they'll get the foul. Gherkin now on the defensive end. This will be our immediate timeout with 4:55 left here in the third. 37-34. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company, located 145 South Main Street in downtown Bowling Green, serving coffee, craft beer, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Serious menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll take the break with them. Bowling Green down by 3 here on Falcon Radio.
This week's Falcon Media Sports Network Athlete of the Week is Meyer Wohl. The junior forward led the team with 25 points in the win over Eastern Michigan on Saturday. The North Carolina native averaged 22.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 1.5 steals per game while shooting 53.3% from the field and 55.2% on three-pointers in the past 4 games. Wohl had 2 20-plus point games against Lemoyne and Bethany and is 4th in the MAC in three-point percentage with 47.4%. We've got a whole bag of tricks for him and will continue to grow that package of offensive plays for him. This has been Falcon Media Sports Network's Athlete of the Week.
Miss a BGSU sports broadcast? Head over to the BG Falcon Media YouTube channel to listen to past calls by Falcon Media Sports Network.
For all BGSU sports news and updates, follow Falcon Media Sports Network on Twitter X at BG_FMSN and head over to BGFalconmedia.com.
You are listening to Falcon Radio, for Falcons by Falcons, and home of the Falcon Media Sports Network.
At the Stro or on the road, the Falcon Media Sports Network is covering the Falcons all season.
Well, we just might have a comeback here for Bowling Green, and that is definitely not in reference to I Just Might by Bruno Mars that's playing right now. But regardless, Bowling Green finally gets their first points of the third quarter off that no-look bounce pass from Lan Fitzpatrick to Taya Ellis. And now they better show us now that they can make a comeback and keep a lead. Let's stay with it. You may not like my puns, but I'm trying here. So when we left off, they tagged Gherkin with a foul and then sent Ferguson to the line. That first one rolls around and drops. The first one no good. That is the first trip of the game to the charity stripe for UMass. Here's your second attempt. Got it. So 1-for-2 trip there. 2-possession lead, 38-34. Under 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Gherkin and McCuller. Lan Fitzpatrick. Lan Fitzpatrick drives. Bounce pass inside. Ellis. Ellis open. Donahue. Here's Kohler. Ellis. Here's Gherkin. Gherkin pass. Tipped and intercepted from Franks. Here's Franks. Stolen and knocked away here from Lan Fitzpatrick. Kohler long left pass to Bland Fitzpatrick. Joe, they keep it still. Cole, that's an open three from top of the key. And that one just off the mill. Rebound there from Donahue, puts it up and in. Big rebound there. 38-36. You can hear the instruction being yelled out here from the BG bench, trying to get a stop. Bland Fitzpatrick on McHale. Tough shot with the contact. Got it with the right off the glass and in. Here's Donahue. Ellis. Heading off here to Kohler. Here's Donahue. Donahue drives. A lot of contact, no call. Big rebound to Ellis over 3 UMass players. Outside pass here to Gherkin for 3. Lauren Gherkin knocks it down. That's her 3rd triple of the contest. And Bowling Green's back within 1. 40-39. His feet inside, looking for Olbrey, so it was tip off with Gherkin. As Kai Woods will come in for Bland Fitzpatrick. Receiving a lot of minutes. Oh, Briss. That one's fouled, and they're going to get Kohler. And this will be Kohler's first. And a couple more trips to the cherry stripe coming up here for UMass. First one here from Mulbreeze is good. 41-39 UMass. Under 3 minutes to play here in the third. And the second one is good well for Mulbreeze. 42-39. Here's Kohler. Kohler gets it out just in time to Donahue. Donahue bounce pass inside, looking for Kyle Woods, and it was behind Ellis and Woods, and just couldn't get it. And it would have been a great opportunity after Kohler survived 3 UMass players to get that pass out. Here's McHale. McHale to O'Briese. Frakes, top of the key for Franks, and that is nothing but air. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be BG ball. Here's Kohler, Donahue, Gherkin, Ellis. Count it. Bounce pass to Gherkin to Ellis, finished through, had 2 players draped on her. Late whistle, but got the foul. Let's say a hit to the head. Taya Ellis now has 14, second on the team, can tie Gherkin with 15, and tie the game at 42 apiece with this free throw. Ellis now has 14 points, 6 rebounds, a pair of assists. This one up, and no good. So it stays UMass lead by 1 point with 2:10 left here in the third. Here's McHale. And a big go. Open O'Briss. It was wide open. Had Kaya Woods underneath her. That's a size mismatch if I've ever seen one. She's twice her size of Kaya Woods. Put it up and in. 44-41. Donahue, Woods. Here's Donahue to Woods. Ellis. Gherkin. Gherkin feeds it to Ellis. Ellis drives, puts it up and in. Another big basket there from Tay Ellis. Game high 16. It's cut down to a 1-point lead again. 44-43. This one's stolen here from Gherkin. Here comes Donahue. Donahue. Out to Gherkin. Thought about 3. Back out to Donahue. Donahue will back out top of the key. There's Donahue. Switches inside. To Ellis. Gherkin. 3 in the shot clock now. Bland Fitzpatrick has to put a shot, but now I don't think Gherkin got off in time. Regardless, it's a rebound for McHale. Another possession with a shot clock just drained all the way down. We have 40 seconds left. It just lulls you to sleep in a way. And nothing gets done. Oh, Briss underneath it with Taya Ellis. And Ellis is fouled. Or Ellis called for the foul. And it's all Briss who is fouled and will go to the line. As Gherkin will come out. Moxie will come in. There's old Briss from the free throw line. First one's good. Make it 45, 43 to 35.1 seconds left. Second one here from old Briss is good. 46-43. A couple subs. So on the floor is Ellis, Kohler, Donahue, Moxie, and Woods for your Falcons. There's Woods. And in the right corner, right in front of the BG bench, is Kohler. 3 seconds to separate shot clock and game clock. Get 17.5 seconds left and counting. Ellis feeds inside. Overlooking for Moxie. It's stolen away from Olbrist. She's had quite the third quarter. Olbrist trying to get away from Palmieri's. Outside, good switch. 3 on the way from McHale. Just off the mark. Donahue gets it. 2 on the shot clock. Donahue drives as the buzzer sounds, and she's fouled there from Franks with 1 second left on the clock. So she can cut it down to just a couple point lead with these 2 free throws. That first one's no good. Here comes Donahue's second one. Donahue, 7 points today, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, pair of steals. Donahue's second one is good. So 8 points now for her, 46-44 with the second left. So it appears we're going to go in the fourth quarter with a 2-point lead for UMass, same as how we ended it. And indeed we will. 46-44, Minutewomen up by 2. We got one more quarter of basketball action here at Mullins Center. Trying to see if Bowling Green come away with a massive road win. You're listening to BGSU Women's Basketball right here on Falcon Radio.
Falcon Media Sports Network writes and publishes over 1,000 stories per year, including game previews, recaps, sidebars, opinion pieces, feature stories, and more. Head over to bgfalconmedia.com to view all of our content for every sport throughout the year.
This is a Falcon Media Sports Network studio update.
At the Coolene in Falcon Radio, I am Gavin Gill for your in-studio update. Just giving you an update on the Miami of Ohio versus Ball State game. Currently, Miami of Ohio is up 49-37 as the Kent State and Buffalo game just tipped off, as Kent State has a slight lead on the Bulls right now. Current score is 13-9. So games to be looking out for as we get into the back half of the MAC season. You're listening to Falcon Radio.
BGSU hockey travels to Minnesota to take on the Bemidji State University Beavers on Saturday, January 24th at 7:07 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have the call, and Holden Ruck and Nathan Burkett will have pregame and postgame shows starting at 6:45 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, your home for Falcon hockey.
Check out more Falcon athletic coverage online at bgfalconmedia.com.
Two-point lead for the UMass Minutewomen, 46-44 as we begin this fourth quarter action here at the Mullins Center. The Falcons looking to go to 11-8 in the MAC and get back to 4-4. They could have a huge win. They could put the rest of the conference on notice and hand UMass their second straight loss. They fell to Ball State on the road. Here's Woods. Woods hands off to Kohler. Here's Kohler still. Kohler. Woods. Woods drives, kicks it out. Gherkin. Gherkin, long pass. Franks gets it initially. Kohler grabs it right back. Kohler back out. Donahue. A on the shot clock. Donahue drives outside of Woods. Kohler. Drive. Kohler, a couple steps, and that's a off-bound shot. Doesn't matter. It's a strong rebound taken away there from Ellis. Gherkin, three! She hits it! Her fourth three of the game. 18 points for Lauren Gherkin. Out of almost absolutely nothing, Bowling Green takes the lead to start the fourth quarter. With McHale. Feed inside of Perkins. That's her first points of the game. Just a simple feed inside, simple up and under. And got up and in. Here's Donahue. Gherkin. Screen set. Now here's Gherkin. Donahue. Donahue in the Kohler for three. Kohler! That's her first three of the game and her first points since the first quarter. She now has 5 back-to-back threes for BG. 50-48. Orange and brown. McHale will come back the other way. Ellis. Pass at the last second, McHale. Palmieri, step back three. Got it. Back and forth we go. Here we go. Palmieri, 51-50 for Bowling Green. Franks now pick up, or excuse me, Ferguson. Now pick up her third. 8:01 left here in the fourth quarter. 51-50 UMass. They feed inside to Ellis. Got the shut up before she was fouled. Couldn't get to go, but she'll go to the free throw line. Ellis' first one from the line is good. Tied at 51 apiece. So second attempt. Rattles in. 2 for 2 there for the line, but Ellis gives BG lead right back. 52-51 BG, under 8 minutes left. And it's kind of just gets that feeling where whoever goes on a run here in the end of the fourth is probably going to come away with this one. Maybe in the middle. It's been such a tight game all game long. McHale. Kohler swipes it away. Knocked it away from behind. Now Kohler, the fast break bounce pass inside to Kyle Woods. A little bit too strong up and under. And rebounded into Ogundigbo. Long way pass. McHale up and in. No foul. Foul Bland Fitzpatrick. As McHale will come in. As Bland Fitzpatrick will come out for Gherkin. Alice will check in, get a breather as Moxie will come back into the fray. And McHale, first one is good. We're tied at 52 apiece. Can give UMass the lead right back. McHale's second one is good. 53-52 UMass. Bowling Green has all 4 timeouts remaining. Kohler in the coffin corner. Want to pass out the Woods. Wood gets it out. Woods, they get out of their own court just in the nick of time. Here's Woods, top of the key. Woods going to drive. Bounce pass, lays it off from Moxie. Moxie trying to leave it out. Donahue for Kohler. Kohler dribbles inside. Stolen away. Old Breeze takes it away. McHale. Palmieri. Obris. Gherkin was trying to time it the perfect time, but she fouls Ogadebo.
Bowling Green foul number 22, Lauren Gherkin. Her second team foul.
Here's McHale. Palmieri, that's a deep three. And an out. Moxie. Moxie was able to grab the rebound there, was knocked away from her momentarily, gets it back. Now Kaya Woods on the fast break. Left wing here for Kohler. Kohler, top of the key. And to Donahue. There's Woods. Back to Donahue. Donahue. 2 on the shot clock. Gherkin heads off as the shot clock expires. Couldn't get that one to go. As Palmieri comes away with the rebound. Here's Franks. 53-52 still UMass. With 6:05 left in this one. McHale. Here's Woods. McHale. Floater up, low too strong. Gherkin knocks into the hands of Moxie. Here's Woods. Woods goes out to Kohler. Kohler drives. Paige Kohler got to go. BG takes the lead right back, 54-53. Coach Jamil calls for a timeout. A much-needed timeout. Back and forth action. Here we go. 5:43 left in this one. This timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You see the latest menu by visiting juniperbrew.com. Thank you for Juniper Brewing Company for the 3rd straight year being a sponsorship for BGSU women's basketball. We'll take a break with them. Bowling Green up by 1 here in UMass, here on Falcon Radio.
Hi, I'm Peyton O'Malley with women's soccer here at BG, and my Falcon 4 pregame rituals is going to Trop, praying, singing songs in the locker room, and our mental prep on the field.
The BGSU men's basketball team returns to the Stroh Center for a matchup against Buffalo on January 27th. Falcon Media Sports Network's Artie Abrego and Noah Seeley will be on the call, with Nate Henners and Sam Borg starting things off with the pregame show at 6:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
BGSU men's basketball travels 30 minutes north to battle the arch-rival Toledo Rockets in the first leg of the Battle of I-75 at Savage Arena on Saturday, January 24th at 5 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network Tyler Cavaletz, Artie Abrego, and Foster Rossai will have the call of the game, while Nate Henners and Sam Bork will start the action with the pregame show at 4:35 p.m. on Falcon Radio, streaming on bgfalconmedia.com.
If you ever miss the Zig Zone on Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM, or just want to re-listen to the program, each show is posted in full on bgfalconmedia.com with timestamps so you can skip ahead to your favorite part.
Join the Zig Zone Sundays from 4 to 6 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM.
back here at the Mullins Center here in Amherst, Massachusetts. It's a race against the storm, literally and figuratively. Bowling Green up by 1. Back and forth action here. We've had, let's see with an updated number. It hasn't updated yet, but the amount of lead change we've had here down the stretch and just in this game in general has been insane. But Bowling Green has come to fight. They've come prepared. And it's a UMass team that if they go out to a big lead to start, you might not get back. Both teams' shooting has drastically decreased since we came back. UMass once again going from right to left when you're ready to dial. Bowling Green going from left to right. Be UMass ball out of this media timeout, up the court. Here they come. Here's Franks. And McHale now top of the key. Guarded by Kohler. Bounces to the right. Guarded by Gherkin. There was Ogundobo. Hands it out. Palmieri. Palmieri, that's a deep 2. It's UMass lead, 55-54. Here's Woods. Here's Woods again. Floats it. Ellis. Here's Woods. Drives. Looks for an option. Trying to get the pass to Ellis. Wrong pass. And taken away and stolen here by UMass. Feeds inside. Open on the basket. Olbris. And off the Falcon turnover. UMass has extended their lead. And Olbris has had quite the half now. 12 points. 57-54. Here's Kohler. Falcons down by 3. 4:30. Here's Kohler. Gherkin. Kohler. Shoulder try 3. Kohler knocks it down. Huge 3. We're tied at 57 apiece. Well, they need a big shot. And they got it in the biggest way. She now is in double figures with 10. Third on the team. And Ellis and Gherkin tied with a game high 18. Long switch. Palmieri wide open in the left wing. No good. Oh, Brisk gets the rebound and she scores again. That's another basket from Olbris. She's gotten hot here underneath the basket. Donahue to Gherkin. Woods. Donahue drives. Donahue floats it. A little bit off. Here's Palmieri. Palmieri in the breakaway. No one to her. Open lane to the basket. And the lead's taken right back. 59-57. Timeout taken here from head coach Fred Shamil and Bowling Green. And it'll just be a 30-second. It'll be a full timeout now, regardless. But regardless, the timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You see this menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll take a quick step aside, and we'll be back after a few words from your local station.
Hello, I'm Mads Christensen for BGSU men's soccer team, and this is my Falcon 4 favorite ice cream toppings. The first one, vanilla, because it's a classic. The second one, strawberry. And guess what? It's also a classic. Love that. And cookies and cream, because it's delicious. And, ooh, the final one, banana. Banana.
BGSU hockey travels to Minnesota to take on the Bemidji State University Beavers on Saturday, January 24th at 7:07 p.m. Falcon Media Sports Network's Ben Korak will have the call, and Holden Ruck and Nathan Burkett will have pregame and postgame shows starting at 6:45 p.m. on WBGU 88.1 FM. Your home for Falcon hockey.
After this game wraps up, more coverage continues online at bgfalconmedia.com.
61-57, 4-point lead from UMass after a couple of turnovers for Bowling Green led to UMass to retake the lead and calls a timeout here for head coach Fred Shamil. And an important one, because now we're in point of the game, or maybe any last long run from either team could be the difference. 3:24 left in this one. Lucas Kleinmeyer here on Falcon Radio alongside with you, Gavin Gill, Dawson Pelter, and the station. They'll have post-game with you. As Bowling Green now will come out for the timeout. We'll see if any changes remain on the floor. Donahue will come back in. Donahue, Kohler, Ellis, Bland, Fitzpatrick, and Gherkin are the 5 on the floor for the Orange and Brown. And for UMass, it's McHale, Albreeze, Palmieri, Franks, and Ferguson. Donahue looking for an option, and it took too long. And they couldn't find an option open, and that's not what you wanted out of this timeout. Ellis gets by O'Breeze, and they'll get Ellis for the foul. O'Breeze worked on Ellis. Extend the elbow, nothing called. And Ellis, we get called with the foul. Ellis and O'Breeze to the free throw line once again. She's perfect 4 for 4 so far this game. And that first one's a miss. It's a big miss. O'Breeze now is tied with McHale and Palmieri with a game high, or team high, 16 points. That second one, no good either. So over 2 trip there. Bowling comes away unscathed. There's Kohler. Bland Fitzpatrick. There's Kohler. Kohler drives. Kohler takes the contact, and she's fouled. With 3 minutes left in this one, 61-57. UMass up by 4. Here's Kohler's first attempt. That one's good. Cuts it down to a 3-point lead. 61-58. Here's Kohler's second attempt. Got it. It's a 2-point lead. 61-59. Here's McHale. Guarded by Bland Fitzpatrick. McHale. Over Bland Fitzpatrick. Still McHale. McHale makes a couple of dribbles. Drives inside. Palmieri over Kohler. That one no good. Rebound from Ellis. Into the hands of Donahue. Bowling can tie or take the lead. Here's Kohler. Kohler drives by McHale. Bounces inside. Open Bland Fitzpatrick. It's a tied game at 61 apiece. Great pass there from Kohler. Drove baseline. And Bland Fitzpatrick doesn't score often. That's only her first basket of the game. But we're tied 61 apiece. And now a timeout taken for UMass. 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here on Falcon Radio. This timeout, once again, is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You can see this menu. It is in juniperbrew.com. 61-61. UMass shooting just above 50%. Bowling Green 47. But a couple of baskets, a couple of stops. Missed free throws even from old Breeze and UMass. I left this door open here for the Orange and Brown. Back out this timeout. It'll be Franks to throw it in. McHale. Guarding Bland Fitzpatrick. 15 on the shot clock here. McHale drives left. Into Ferguson. Ferguson on Ellis. Palmieri. Palmieri. Out to top of the key. Ferguson dropped it off. It'll be BG ball. Knocked out from Gherkin, rolled out of bounds. And the Falcons get a big stop here out of the timeout. Under 2 minutes to go, here we have a tie ball game. There's Donahue. Gets it. Dribbles right. Feeds it inside Ellis. Bland Fitzpatrick. Out to Donahue. Donahue drives. Troy kicks it out. A little too strong, but she's fouled from Palmieri. Allie Palmieri. As Bowling Green is now entering the bonus. And Donahue now will have a couple trips to the charity stripe. Here's Donahue's first one. Got it. Nothing but net. Bowling Green back in the lead, 62-61. Here's Donahue's second attempt. It rolls around and out. BG still in the lead, 62-61. We're down to a minute 30. Here's McHale. McHale dribbles right, now goes left. Double team now with Donahue and Bland Fitzpatrick still on the left side. McHale now dribbles all the way to the right, still guarded by Bland Fitzpatrick. Here's Donahue. Deep three, Palmieri, you bet it. Over Donahue, Palmieri. A huge three, 64-62. UMass in the lead, a minute. We are down to a minute left here in the contest at the Mullen Center. Donahue, Ellis. Donahue, Kohler, she'll try a three. Paige Kohler, just off the mark, no good. And rebounded there from Franks. Puts it open. Palmieri. Bowling Green bench screaming no foul. It's 64-62, 37 seconds left on the shot clock. They need a stop. McHale. McHale got by her. McHale floater, no good. Rebounded from Gherkin. Timeout taken from Shamil. Big timeout and a huge defensive rebound from Lauren Gherkin. Full timeout going to be taken. 26.5 seconds left, and now there might be a little bit of confusion with when that timeout was taken. And now we'll see. They want to inbound it by the BG bench. They want to inbound it and go full court. Regardless, the timeout is sponsored by Juniper Brewing Company. You see the latest menu at juniperbrew.com. We'll stay right here for these final moments and potentially overtime here in this one. And we'll see here if they're going to inbound the ball. Full timeout. And I think they're going to say they call the timeout. They're going to inbound all the way from BG's end. And the UMass fans much of dismay. Now they look at the replay. And apologies if you heard anything over the radio waves. There's a section of fans that are not Shamil's biggest fans, and it's going to be. So they'll inbound the ball all the way from down there, all the way on BG's end. So 26.5 seconds left. So on the floor for Bowling Green is going to be Donahue, Bland, Fitzpatrick, Kohler, Gherkin, and Ellis. So Kohler inbound. Here we go. Shot clock is off. 64-62. UMass up by 2. Here's Donahue. Ellis. Handoff. Donahue, open lane to the basket. No! Too strong. Gherkin fighting for the rebound. Donahue gets it back. Loose ball on the floor still. Jump ball possession. Arrow of favor. I believe it's going to be UMass. They tried to call timeout. It was a bit too strong. It's UMass ball. And timeout going to be taken for UMass with 7.9 seconds left. And the Falcons are going to have to foul and hope. Wow. Well, they got the look they wanted. Donahue had a wide open lane to the basket. Just a bit too strong. Just up and under. And while she hasn't historically been a main offensive threat, she's had her performances this year where they wouldn't have won without her. So if you want a shot, you want her hands, you want Kohler's hands. But with 7.9 seconds left and time you miss. And it looks like they're going to have to foul immediately and hope they go 1 for 2. If you go 1 for 2, it's a 3-point lead for UMass, and they can have a three to tie. If they make 2, you pretty much have no chance. And I know math, there's math with it. I've never been a math guy. But you pretty much put yourself in a non-position. Same 5 on the floor for BG to come out for this one. Here's Franks inbound, and there's still confusion with whose ball. And that will be UMass. Franks inbound. Puts it inside. An immediate foul. That'll be Kohler on McHale. They have one more to give. Only 0.8 of a second came off there. 7.1 seconds left. So they have one more. Franks inside. Donahue now will foul. That's Paul Mary who's fouled, and Paul Mary will go to the free throw line. As Kai Woods will come in from Lamb Fitzpatrick. Here's Paul Mary. Wow, one rolls around. They got a chance. If she makes this one, it'll become a 3-point play. Bowling Green's got one more timeout left. They could send this to overtime or possibly win it if she misses the second one. She made it. Timeout taken. 65-62. Bowling Green now going to try to force overtime with 6.2 seconds left. It's a 30-second timeout. So one last timeout, one last chance here for BG to potentially send us to overtime here. 65-62. Boy, what a great game of basketball this one's been. And you got more coming up on Falcon Radio at 5 p.m. Battle of I-75 between Bowling Green and Toledo. Tyler Cavaliers, Artie Brigo, Foster Rostai on the call for that one. So Bowling Green called timeout. No inbound it here. It appears to be Kohler to inbound with 6.6 seconds left. They need a 3. Kohler to inbound. Kohler inbound to Gherkin. Here's Gherkin. Gherkin to Kohler. Kohler for 3, off the mark. Way off, no good. You count the basket. But that's it. Bowling Green's going to suffer their third straight defeat as the buzzer sounds. 65-64. UMass comes away victorious and improves to 14-4 and 6-2 in the MAC, while Bowling Green falls to 10-9 and 3-5 in Mid-American Conference play. And what was an exquisite battle back and forth. That's going to do it for us here. We will not have a post-game show here with Coach Maggie Lucas or a player due to travel. But Gavin Gill and Dawson Pelter do have you covered in the studio. So for myself, Lucas Kleinmeyer, that will do it for us here in the arena. UMass wins in a thriller, 65-64. Gavin and Dawson, I'll send it back over to you.
Hi, I'm Anna Sidek. I'm a freshman setter from BGSU volleyball team, and that's my 4 self-care habits. So the first one is drinking a coffee because it helps me to be just energized like during the day. Second thing would be reading a book. I'm a such bookworm and I just love it. Other one would be listening to music because like music keeps me calm and I just love it. And the last thing, but not the least, it would be like stretching with Santi, our athletic trainer, because he keeps my body safe and everything. So I'm really grateful for
The Zig Zone, Falcon Media Sports Network's weekly radio show dedicated to BGSU athletics, has a new segment. Make sure to tune into the show every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. to listen to the one-on-one segment, where Holden Ruck will interview a key figure in BGSU athletics.
Check out bgfalconmedia.com for previews, recaps, photos, videos, and more of the Falcons.
Final score 65-64. The Minute Women pull it out with a 1 point lead over the Falcons, as the Falcons are now on a 3-game losing streak. They were looking a little bit more alive in that fourth quarter with 64 points compared to, oh, that's total. Sorry, my bad. My apologies. 20 points in that fourth quarter compared to UMass's 19. Coming right off of the into the fourth quarter, they had that massive 3-pointer. You think the Falcons are going to turn it around and get a win over them. They did take the lead for a little bit there, but weren't able to. A crucial Kohler layup that wasn't able to get the edge over the Minute Women. Dawson, your kind of impressions of that second half.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close game down the stretch no matter what. You look at the score by period. Third quarter, they both scored 12. And then that fourth quarter, BG having one more point, actually, than UMass. I don't know. You look at offensively, Falcons shooting 45% from field goal, 35 from 3. Not too bad. But then you compare it to UMass shooting 51% from field goal and 42% from 3. And both of those, they did so in shooting less shots. Bowling Green attempting 55 field goals, meanwhile UMass attempting 51, and Bowling Green attempting 23s while UMass attempted 12. So UMass had the higher percentages with a lesser amount of shots. Typically when you have that team is going to get it done. So both teams extremely close. You look at the turnover discrepancy, it's only one, right? Falcons turning the ball over 19 times, meanwhile UMass with 20. Rebound battle also extremely close, 32-27. Offensive rebounds also close, 8-7. You look at all the stats, extremely close. Falcons just not over to get over their hump of losing and pull this one out.
I mean, the biggest stat on the board is points. So, yeah. I mean, you could beat them in every statistical category, but if it's not points, then it doesn't really matter. Since we last spoke, Donahue only got one more steal. She was at 5 at halftime. She ends the game with 6. Yeah, I feel like they rely a lot on her getting the ball into her point scorer teammates, that being Gherkin or Kohler, or even this game, it was Ellis. Ellis ended the game with 20 points, leading the Falcons, with Gherkin at 18 and Kohler at 12. Those are your top 3 scorers from the Falcons. But like I was saying, Donahue only able to get one more steal in that second half. I feel like could have gotten a couple more, help her team get it put into a position to kind of come out with a victory. But that's why you play team sports. Everybody has their certain roles, and you cannot blame one certain individual. We will step away for just a quick second. We'll be right back here on Falcon Radio.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
At the Stro or on the road, the Falcon Media Sports Network is covering the Falcons all season.
And they are, in fact, on the road in Amherst, Massachusetts, here on Falcon Radio, not WBGU 88.1, due to inclement weather and timing restrictions. The game was moved from tomorrow, January 25th, to today, ending the game with the Minute Women beating the Falcons 65-64. We're going to go over our players of the game. I am going to give it to Ellis. For the Falcons.
Absolutely.
Ended the game with 20 points, 9 for 9 in field goals. She didn't take any. 2 for 3 in free throws. Pretty good game for Ellis. Also, she had the second most minutes in the game behind Gherkin and Donahue, who both had 36. So I would say Ellis would be the Falcons player of the game. Now, Dawson, who are you going to give the player of the game to the Minute Women?
Yeah, you had 3 players for UMass with 16 points, but then you had Ali Palmieri. She had 20. She was the leading scorer, but her stats speak for themselves. 8 of 16 from field goal. That's 50% shooting. That's pretty good. And then the Minute Women, they were 5 of 12 as a team from 3. 3 of those makes were from Palmieri. So great offensive type of game. And then she also had 4 defensive rebounds, which were all of her rebounds for the game. But nevertheless, great there. 2 steals, no turnovers, and a block as well to round out her stats. So great game there from Palmieri.
Yeah, and then if you look at this game after the conclusion of this game in the stats, Bowling Green now sits at 3-5. They drop below Kent State, who are in the middle of a game, and we'll do around MAC basketball here in just a few minutes. But they drop below Kent State. You're sitting on that 8 line now. There are only 11 more games left in the season. 10 of those being MAC games, and so I'm not going to say this is like an emergency, like, hey, everyone, there are going to be must-win games, absolutely, especially that rivalry game against Toledo coming up. We'll go through their schedule in just a minute as well. I'm just talking about strictly right now the MAC standings, Miami being on top right now, Ball State being 2, Ohio being 3, UMass, they moved up to 4. So Central Michigan at 5, Toledo at 6, Kent at 7, and Bowling Green at 8. So if the tournament would end today, Bowling Green would get in with that 8 spot, but you're on a 3-game losing streak when you're coming back home to play Akron. So that I'm not going to say no team in the MAC is going to be an easy win, but you're coming back home to play Akron next Wednesday. Then you have to go to Toledo January 23rd, and then you have to go to Kent February 4th. So, what do you want to see improve over these next couple games? Because very key games. I'm circling that Battle of I-75 game and that Akron game. you want to keep an eye on it, especially with the inclement weather. We don't know if it's going to affect the Wednesday game. It should not, I hope. I'd like to drive home.
Yeah.
But that Battle of I-75, I feel like, is going to be probably one of their biggest of the year so far.
Yeah, no, if you're the Falcons, this next Akron game has got to be a must-win this upcoming Wednesday. Akron currently, they're 0-7 in the MAC, and if you look at their streak right now, they've lost their last 7 games. So if you're the Falcons, that's kind of a pick-me-up, must-win game, and then you turn around that next Saturday, play Toledo. That's also a must-win, right? Toledo right there in the middle of the conference, along with Bowling Green. Then you go on the road to Kent State. That's also a must-win, right? Like,
there's a lot of must-wins now.
There are, yeah. You need to reassert yourself in the MAC, get a couple wins under your belt. Luckily, their next game is Akron, so hopefully that can get them back on track. You look a little bit later in the schedule, right? You've got some other wins that should be must-wins, right? Northern Illinois, Buffalo, some of these lesser opponents yet, as you mentioned, in the MAC. You never know, but there's a couple games that they should be able to get themselves back on track, and a couple more testers coming up on their schedule.
Absolutely. What do you think about this MAC Sun Belt Challenge against Coastal Carolina? Is that going to be like a scrappy kind of game, or do you think Bowling Green, if they were to lose, they'd be okay?
I could go either way with that. Their conference very similar to the MAC. You look at Coastal Carolina currently 9-11, 2-6 in their conference, so pretty comparable to Bowling Green. That's kind of how they tend to match these games up in that Sun Belt conference. But they lost to Miami 63-53, one of their first games, so pretty comparable to Bowling Green as well. I think it'll be a scrappy one and a good one regardless, but I'm excited for that one as well. I think it'll give that's after that Kent State game, so I think it'll be a good benchmark to how the rest of the season is going to go.
And that first MAC Sun Belt Challenge at the beginning of the season, that was on November 3rd. They ended up beating the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana 82-67. So maybe seeing an opponent that you haven't already seen this season is going to be good for the Falcons, but we can't look too far ahead because we have 3 games before that, man. So, but other than that, let's take a look at the other games happening around the MAC, where I think there's only 2 that have tipped off so far. One's about to tip off at 1 p.m., but the Miami of Ohio versus Ball State, 2 top teams of the MAC right now. Miami is currently up 61-39, which is a pretty big that's a pretty big win, or future win possibly, for the Miami Redhawks. And then also you have Kent State and Buffalo. Current score of that is 27-19. Kent State has the edge there, so that's a future opponent. So something these MAC games could swing either way. And then your next game that will be tipping off here in a matter of moments is NIU versus Eastern. Toledo versus Ohio will also be tipping off. And then to close out your MAC games for today is Central Michigan versus Western Michigan. So all the MAC games got moved today because of inclement weather. Thank you to the MAC conference for kind of they gave the teams enough time, I hope. I think Bowling Green had to do the most amount of traveling out of any of the other teams. Okay, the Miami game just finished up. 72-52 was that final score. So Miami is sitting the top of the MAC now because they just defeated Ball State, both teams being undefeated in the conference until today. So Miami is the team to beat at the moment with the best record and the best conference record. Anything else before we go around Falcon Media Sports Network, Dawson? All right. And so to wrap up our post-game show around Falcon Media Sports Network, we brought it up earlier. The hockey team defeated Bemidji State last night 3-1. If my computer would load, I can tell you the rest of the scores. But they have their second game of the Bemidji State series. Puck drop will be at 7:07. Make sure to tune in about 30 minutes prior to the action for your pregame shows and their opinions and thoughts about the game. That will be on WBGU 88.1. But before that, we have a men's basketball tip-off will be at 5 p.m. Tyler Kavlitz, Artie Abrego, and Foster Rostai will be on that call against Toledo. Big battle of I-75 today. Make sure to tune in about 2.5 to 3 hours for the call and the pregame show for that. That wraps up this weekend, and that will wrap up our pregame or our postgame show. I'd like to thank Dawson Pelter for coming in on a shorthand notice, subbing in for our guy. Is supposed to be in studio today, but he did a great job today. Shout out to Lucas Kleinmeyer traveling to Massachusetts once again on shorthand notice. I feel like we did this. It was very clean and efficient the way that we did it. Thank you for listening. You're listening to Falcon Radio. My name's Gavin Gill. That's Dawson Pelter. Tune in about 2.5 hours for the men's basketball against Toledo. Battle of I-75.